Hey guys, Tom here with another video recommendation for you this week. This time it's on a game called Active Aggression. It's an RTS game that's soon to come out on the 2nd of September. It's been developed by a French company called Eugene Systems, and they made the original Active Aggression game, which was called Active War back in 2005, and they also then made Ruse for the consoles back in 2011, which was received pretty well I think, from what I remember. And if you're a fan of the Command & Conquer General series, I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, I would say this is the spiritual successor to that game because it's set in a very similar timeline, obviously like Modern Warfare-esque fighting with obviously the vehicles and the infantry. I also forgot to mention at the start, there's a 15% pre-purchase offer going on at the minute on Steam, but to be honest I think it's probably just there to convince you to buy it now, just so you can, they've got the sales. So I'll probably wait guys until the actual release and reviews properly come out for the game. That being said, what I'm going to talk about today is just the beta impressions of the game. So my thoughts are not the final thoughts of this game. It's obviously like until a month's time they're probably going to make so many changes, but right now all 3 factions have been released. There's quite a few maps out, so I think maybe my opinion is probably going to stay the same once the game is actually released. But we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully it does stay the same because it actually is quite positive what I'm going to say about the game. Right, so who can you play as? As I said, there are 3 factions in the game: USA, Cartel and Crimea. I would say now that the USA is the easiest one to play as and probably the most traditional faction in the genre of RTS in general. Obviously you know exactly what the units are going to do, does exactly what they say on the tin. Upgrades help that unit be better at what it already does. Cartel, I would say this is the hardest one of the lot. I had 1 or 2 games with them and it's like I still don't really fully understand them, but what I know is that they like stealth for their units and their buildings, so they like to stay hidden. But obviously with that skill that would probably mean that they're quite weak, which they are, so their units don't really have a lot of health, but they are really powerful, so they like surprise tactics, they like to catch the enemies off guard. The Crimea is in the middle of those 2. It has the best balance for resources, I'd say. So it's basically an even playing field, so you never need to worry about, oh, I need to get that resource more than another one. They're also, I'd say, the jack of all trades of factions. Their units, they can upgrade their units to the point where one unit can take care of air units, tanks and infantry. That would also mean, to balance the game and to make it even, that they're never going to be the best at taking on one unit. They're obviously they can take out all 3 levels of units, air, tank and infantry, but they're never going to be great at killing one type of unit. Right, okay, resources. Now there are 3 different types of resources in the game, one being gold/oil. Now the reason it's gold/oil is because you can obviously go into banks with infantry to take money out of the banks and then give it to you to use, but the oil in the ground, you take that out and give it to yourself, obviously you collect it, but that automatically turns into gold, so I'm not too sure how they did that, but yeah, that's the way that works. The second resource is aluminium. Obviously that's for creating buildings and tanks and units and things like that. The third resource is rare ore. That's exactly what they've called it, there's no fancy name for it, and that's just used to create your most powerful buildings and your most powerful units. Now I mentioned infantry going into banks to take money. In this RTS, more so than any other I think, infantry are actually really important and really useful. I'd say in other RTS games, you get like an army of tanks and you just roll over an enemy. Like, that's all you really need to do. In this game, infantry are actually really powerful for taking out other infantry or other tanks, and obviously other air units. Like in most RTS games, you can stick them in buildings to garrison that building and bunker down and defend it, and they're actually really strong positions that take quite a few units to take care of. As I said, you obviously send units into banks to gather the money. The more units you have in a bank, the more money you collect. Another emphasis on infantry in the game is the prison system, or the prisoner system. What this means is that sometimes when units get destroyed, they'll actually turn into infantry that just sit there and have their hands up and give up, and say, oh, don't kill me, please don't kill me. Now, what this means is, as the enemy, they can capture those units and then take them back to their prison camps that they've got. And also, you can try and rescue them to get money back, so there's an incentive there to rescue your units once they lose. Now, if you were to capture enemy units, depending on what faction you were, obviously you get different benefits for taking them and obviously moving them to your prison camp. Now, as the Crimea and Cartel, I think for every set amount of prisoners you get, you actually generate gold, which of course is really useful and obviously helps you build up your army bigger and better. Now, as the US, I've actually forgot what they gain from doing so sorry about that. And finally, it's time to talk about the AI in the game. I've had quite a few AI matches on my own, and I've played one or two with randomers that I've been able to find luckily through the servers. The AI is actually really good in this game. I was really surprised by how aggressive and how strong they were, even on medium difficulty. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not great at RTS games. For any RTS fans out there that know the jargon, I turtle a lot, which obviously doesn't mean I do a turtle's head or anything like that. It just means I just hunker down and just build up my defences constantly until I think it's ready and time to do one attack, which should hopefully win me the game, which is a crap way to play the game. In any RTS game really, it always gets you killed. But yeah, on medium difficulty, the AI is aggressive, it wants to take the land away from you, it wants it for itself, and it is constantly sending infantry to poke and prod you and like just to see where the weaknesses are until it's ready to actually send a massive army after you. So basically, God help you if you try hard or very hard difficulty on AI, because that is definitely a real challenge. Okay, it's now actually time for my thoughts on the game and my impressions after that long-winded intro about the game. I can't think of any changes that really need to be made. My only gripe was, at one point or a couple of times during my matches, the resources on my side just depleted. I had nothing to collect to make any more stuff. Now I'm guessing that's a feature they put into the game purposely to keep the game flowing and to push you to go out and actually attack and win quick. Well, maybe not quick, but within a certain amount of time, because otherwise you just sit there and the game becomes boring. The variations in the factions also mean you won't be coming up against one style of play all the time, so it'll be obviously fun for you and be fun for the other players as well. There's quite a few maps, so obviously that'll keep you entertained. Obviously the changes that you'll have to do, and obviously the way you have to build your base and things like that. So yeah, that's really all I can think of right now. So if this game obviously looks like your kind of game, you can obviously buy it right now, get it a little bit cheaper. But I'll be honest with you, wait until the reviews from other people and obviously other like video game media companies come out, and obviously you can get a better idea of what this game is going to be like. However, at least right now you've got an initial idea, and obviously from my point of view it's looking very promising, and it's definitely a very good contender for RTS of the year. Right folks, that's the end of the video there. Please like, share and subscribe if you want to see more content from myself and the other guys that run this channel. There's more than just me, there's quite a few of us that make videos and we're pumping them out constantly for your entertainment. Anyway guys, this is Tom signing off, until next time.